Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now, today's episode, we're going around the net with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And on the docket for today, we have a lot of little things to get through. U.S. Bank, after years of talking about it, finally has transfer partners, sort of. American Express is adding a few more hotels to some of their programs, and we'll close with one of my favorite cashback cards being under attack in the AAA Daily Advantage through a survey. So, of course, we'll overreact to that as we're known to do. All that and more. So, of course, if it sounds interesting to you, go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, we'll start out with U.S. Bank. Man, U.S. Bank is a love-hate relationship around here. But don't worry, this isn't smartly related. I guess there's a sort of potential smartly tie-in. Past rumor that didn't come true. Anyways, again, U.S. Bank have been talking about having transfer partners since last year, 2025, and now they have them. Sort of. We'll take a look. So what you have is their transfer partners. Now these are all going to be a 1-to-1 except for one of them we'll talk about. So Air France, KLM, Flying Blue, that's a 1-to-1 transfer ratio. All Accor, which I feel like we've talked about before, is a 2-to-1 transfer rate, so not that good. 2 U.S. Bank altitude points would be 1 Accor point. Ethiopian Rewards and Qantas, which is not unheard of, those two would also be 1-to-1. Now, before you get too excited, that came out earlier in the week. Then, I think it was the 12th, the 13th, I want to say, Air France disappeared and Qantas also disappeared from the list. Now, that could mean any number of things. Maybe they weren't supposed to launch those at the same time as the others, or maybe they actually had to pull them for some other technical reason. I would imagine they'll be back at some point. Why else would they be able to have been loaded into the system and everything, and the back end built out if they weren't supposed to be there? Maybe it was early, maybe there's something wrong with them. We simply don't know, so I think it's safe to assume those are your 4 U.S. Bank transfer partners. Now, this runs into the same problem that everyone has. The major blue chips are all spoken for, right? Delta, United, American. There's a few others in there, but still, they're all spoken for, and somehow Built Rewards manages to get in there and be a partner of everybody. But for the most part, everyone's spoken for. So at this point, when folks ask for transfer partners, yes, there's definitely some folks who play on expert mode and can, find uses over there with these partners and what have you. But for the most part, everyone's spoken for. So I don't know these are going to help most mainstream credit card users. Even folks like us, I would assume there's still a good amount of us who still like your blue chip partners. Same thing we see with Wells Fargo, right? I'm a Wells homer, but at the same time, their transfer partners get crushed, and rightfully so, but at the same time, who else do you really want? I mean, who else is really up for grabs, right? So, anyways, there you go. At one point, there was a rumor of the U.S. Bank Smartly Reserve card, but I don't think we're going to be seeing that anytime soon. So as is, I don't think that many folks are going to be bothered earning U.S. Bank altitude points and sending them out for travel, especially after the altitude reserve and the Smartly went away. U.S. Bank to me is really more of a cash back bank now, which is fine. I like cash back, but we'll see. Maybe they'll start taking some cards again, some more seriously again, but I doubt it. Now, someone who does take travel very seriously is American Express, and as much as I like to knock them, Fine Hotels and Resorts in the collection is a decent program, given what you get when you book through there. I've actually done it a time or two myself. Had to be a few years back since I've had a platinum card, but still, it is one of the few things that has some level of value. And that's good because American Express is adding more properties to the program. So if you take a look at this, they sent out this press release here. New Fine Hotels plus Resorts in the hotel collection properties give card members more ways to book curated stays with elevated benefits. I guess that's a nicer way to say it than the way I said it. But they announced the addition of 350 premium hotels to the Fine Hotels, Resorts, and Collection programs, expanding its curated portfolio to more than 3,400 properties across 116 countries. Expansion comes as Fine Hotels and Resorts celebrates its 35th anniversary and reflects how Platinum Card members are seeking. I've had enough of that. So anyways, you get the point. There are now more hotel options. More hotel options is good. I said in the beginning, the program itself is decent. I actually didn't know it had been around for 35 years. Very interesting. I don't know if it's been with American Express that whole time, or they just, one of the Platinum card refreshes, they had finally started giving it benefits and making it worth considering. So again, more options is good, so if you travel to one of those, definitely let us know how it was and enjoy your credits. So one of the coupons we don't actually make fun of. Now, something we will probably make fun of is Venmo Stash. Now, Venmo Stash, it's using their Venmo debit card, and they had a cashback program that made the debit card worth considering to some. So if you're unfamiliar, we've talked about this maybe a month or two before. Back in the day, they had programs, or they call them packages or something, right? But basically, the gist of it was there was a group of like 3 or 4 retailers per package, and you could pick a package, and there were different multipliers that you could get within that package, depending on if you were sending them Venmo a direct deposit or not. Well, it wasn't ideal because you might not like everyone in the package, but again, we have so many cards, if you could just find one useful vendor in a package, well then, it could be of use. So much use, apparently, that they decided to change the program, which is what you already know. They went to a spend-based program to qualify for the extra points. So we needed clarification when it came out last time. It looks like we now have that clarification. So on screen, so you're going to get 1x base rate earned automatically once you're enrolled in the program. So it'd be 1% for the first $250 spent. So again, not a whole lot to write home about. At 1x, we can all do better than that. Now, 2% tier is unlocked once your monthly spend reaches $250. So then you get 2% for the next $1,250 spent. So that would be $25 cash back if you're keeping track at home. Now, the 5% tier, instead of being dependent on these buckets, is unlocked once your monthly spend reaches $1,500. Then 5% for the last for another $1,450 of spend, so $72.50. Thank you to Dr. Credit. I didn't actually do the math myself. So you can see, again, instead of just sending, previously I think you just had to send them like a direct deposit or something like that. But now it's spend based, and you can see it's not really worth it in my opinion. He goes on to say it works out to roughly about 3.4% cash back if you spent the full $1,500. Yes, technically, I guess 3.4 is better than 2%, but again, I think if you're doing a lot of optimization like many of us are, you have many 5% cards and 4% cards, many cards will still go up to 3%, then it's probably not worth the hassle, because you need to get all the way there and max it out to be the 3.4. I'm sure someone may have some type of debit card reward strategy where you're opening CDs with it perhaps, or bank account funding, so it could have some utility, but it's going to be a lot worse to many of us under this program, which is unfortunate because we are running out of debit cards to kind of supplement after the PayPal hit. And then this one as well. I think we're really just left with Target, and there's like a few others out there, but it's getting harder and harder. So one thing also getting harder and harder is dealing with Capital One after the Discover merger, because it looks like Capital One is being pretty vengeful. We have posts now where essentially folks are saying like, hey, Capital One is shutting me down because I was shut down with Discover. So again, these are mostly Reddit posts. I haven't seen like anything super official. But there's one poster here that mentioned he got this type of shutdown as well. One other reader was shut down by Capital One 8+ years ago and had their Discover savings shut down as well. So Capital One said, I've shut you down forever ago, but you're with Discover, now you're with me, so I'm going back because I still have that information, and I can tell, oh, you were an unsavory customer, let me get rid of you. I don't really think it'll affect too many people. Again, for the most part, because with both of those guys, for the longest time, there's not anything really that you would do some crazy credit card scheme from, as far as I know. So, it very well could have been just folks who were just, up to no good, just bad customers. Maybe they didn't really go into detail what they did to get shut down 8 or 9 years ago. But I mean, again, I don't think it's anything that we would really worry about, but I guess just kind of keep your eye on it, depending on what you have buried in your closet with one of these banks. Don't need to spend a ton of time there. Now, we will close with a story that me and like 4 other people will care about, but it's a slow week and it's my show, so yes, we're probably going to talk about this for 3 or 4 minutes. One of the best cards in cashback is the AAA card. So you have the Daily Advantage, which is the one that does 5% back at groceries up to 10 grand and spend a year. That's dark blue. Then you have the Travel Advantage, which is light blue, and it does 5% back on gas and EV charging. I think it's up to like $750. It's less than the $10,000, maybe $7,500 a year. But either way, pretty good cards. They do other things too, but that's the reason you would get them. And recently, the Daily Advantage was in the news because it got kneecapped or corrected more or less, because one of the things that made the Daily Advantage an S tier card was that it also worked at Walmart and Meijer as well. Those are basically like super center type stores where if you go there, you're very familiar. Maybe a quarter of the store's groceries and 3/4 is like everything else, right? You can buy tires, video games, TVs, appliances, you name it. They sell all of it, right? And so those aren't really in the spirit of grocery store. So they went back and I would say, corrected it to exclude those stores. Now there's a survey going around. I didn't get one, probably because they knew how I would vote already. But there's surveys going around talking about changes for this card, which I also find interesting because this is like by Bread Financial, Community Bank. They're generally not surveying too many people, but maybe AAA wanted to do it. So anyways, there's a bunch of different options. The doctor flagged 2 of them. So package 1 would be higher cash back on AAA memberships, 3% cash back on pharmacy and streaming purchases. Cashback can be used on Amazon. Cool, I guess. Brand shopping discounts. Horrible. Package 2, 5% cash back on AAA membership and insurance. I mean, helpful if you're using it. 4% cash back on groceries, 3% cash back at wholesale clubs. Could be helpful because it is a Visa card. $75 AAA credit after $10,000 annual spending, and Priority Pass Airport Lounge access. This card doesn't need Priority Pass access. They're just giving that thing away, and they wonder why lounge values are awful. This card has no business with Priority Pass. It's just dumb. So there's other variations of this going around. Obviously, package 1 is absolutely trash. Package 2 is somewhat stomachable in the sense that you go from 5% to 4%. And you retain your cash back on wholesale clubs. I would bet you large sums of money this will happen in some capacity. And the reason being is this is such a weird card. It's so insanely good and it has no business being that good. And it's just good because no one else is really doing 5% to that level. And cash back line, I don't think there's anyone doing 5% on groceries up to that much. And gas, the same thing. You can get 4% with the PNC card, people like the Costco card. But it's like no one told them they didn't need to compete that hard with this card, which is great for us because, again, it's one of my favorite cards. But is also there's no real tie-in to AAA, right? To sign up for the card, you have to put in a special zip code because it's like AAA Northeast or something like that, something like that. I think there's one for the South as well. But if I just tried to do it here, I can't get it. I can't get to the promo page. But if you put in the zip code, you can get it no problem. Not even at application, just to find the promo page, as many of you may know. And then, I would also love to see, on their side, what's the distribution between AAA members, non-AAA members, and card holders. Because, I'm going to guess there's a fair amount of us who don't have AAA, and I don't have AAA. I have Progressive. My parents have AAA. AAA used to be a big deal. I remember when we went down the street from my office, I got my first passport pictures taken there because my dad was a member and you could just walk down there and do it. It was free. It was like half a block away from my office. But anyways, I don't know, from AAA's point of view, they have a really good product. It doesn't necessarily need to be that good, but it is good, and I'm happy for them, and they should keep it good. But it doesn't really do anything for their core members. It kind of does. I mean, you can get 3% on AAA, cool. But, it's also seemingly locked to people, not all AAA members, because if I'm just a normal person and why would I ever think to put in a New York zip code to get to a product page, right? I wouldn't think of that. So it's just a very weird card. And I don't know that the product itself does what AAA hopes it does from their perspective, all being a good card. So I do think it will get kneecapped at some point. Package 2, again, is at least stomachable. I don't want it to happen. It's not going to make me go out and get AAA insurance, but, I give up a percent if it means I can keep it. There's a lot of silliness on the card, but I think that's why I think it's going to happen. But again, most of you probably don't even care. I think I only know 3 or 4 people with this card. It's a good card. If they nerf it too much, I just might be my breaking point though. How many more losses can we take? So I'm hopeful it's not too bad, but I would put money on something happening to it to make this card probably more in line with what AAA was hoping to accomplish. They accomplished a lot. I just don't think they're getting the right people that they want. But at the same time, I don't know if we're wreaking that much havoc on it. It's not really a card you would take advantage of. I only use it for groceries. But anyway, for the 4 of you down below who have this card, let me know. Or if you don't have it and you play cashback, let me know why you don't like one of my favorite cards so much. I'd be genuinely interested. But anyways, that is the news for this week. So of course, if you liked it, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. So we're posting content just like this every single week. And of course, right back here every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And of course, every single day over on profitablecontent.com, which is of course the channel's blog. Always linked down below for you, as well as on the channel homepage. We have the latest news stories, plenty of bank promotions, and some credit card offers as well. Anyways, guys, that'll do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you very soon in the next one.